Well, joining us is Mike Chamberlin.
That's right.
This is, I don't know, your 6th or 7th time being on the show?
I think it's closer to 9 times.
It feels like 10 or 15. Now, Mike, me and Joe were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
There's, I guess, definitely 4 big movies coming out in May. Iron Man 3 that just came out. Star Trek, the new Star Trek. I think it's opening this week. We've got Hangover 3. And then the new Fast and the Furious. I know that you haven't seen any and won't see any. And don't answer yet. Just think about it. But if you had to see these movies, in what order would you see them in terms of this one first and that one last? I think it's Star Trek would be first. I think the obvious is that Fast and the Furious is last.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
So now we've got 2 and 3. Part of me says Iron Man because I feel like you probably respect Robert Downey Jr. and Don Cheadle as actors.
Sir Ben Kingsley also in Iron Man 3, and you know he's going to... I think there's no doubt that Iron Man 3 beats The Hangover. But here's the thing. If Mike saw the first Hangover, which you know that he didn't,
right,
then I would be even more sure that this third Hangover would be down on the list. But if he didn't see the first Hangover, then it's because it's the same movie.
Well, he's not a drinker also, so it's not really
true. But what I mean is The Hangover 3 will be The Hangover to him. And that was a good movie. I'm still going to go, and I think we agree with this, Star Trek, Iron Man, Hangover, Fast and the Furious 6, right?
I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think that when in doubt, he'll go see the dumb, funny movie. And he thinks all his movies are dumb. So I think he's going to go Star Trek, Hangover, Iron Man, then Fast and the Furious. Mr. Chamberlain, your answer, please.
I couldn't stand that last Star Trek movie. I could barely get through it, nor could I understand what it was about. No, I couldn't.
Well,
I don't know
You're
what
a
it was
smart
about.
guy. What do you mean you couldn't understand? What do you mean?
No, it's just the storytelling was so jumbled and so unclear that I couldn't figure out what was going on. Leonard Nimoy did show up at the end in a very stately way that was kind of cool.
How else would he show up?
But I didn't like it. Of these 4...
We may be way wrong here then, Joe.
I'd be interested in seeing The Hangover 3.
Well, I'm going to give it to you then, Rob.
I win then, because I had that high. So that's a surprise.
What's next after that?
Iron Man?
Iron Man, yeah.
But you're going to do Star Trek over seeing Vin Diesel and The Rock and all that.
Well, that's tough, but I actually would put the Star Trek last because I've never seen Vin Diesel and The Rock in the cars.
Are you a car guy? Are you interested in cars?
No, he probably doesn't have a car.
No, I'm not interested.
He wrecked his car.
I didn't wreck it. I got into had a little problem.
Be specific.
Drag racing?
I was in the district driving to the first performance of my current play that's up and running.
Which we probably won't talk about.
I turned a corner very sharply because there was a food truck that was sticking out into the street illegally. And to try to get around it, I had to make a wide turn, and I miscalculated, and it scraped the side of my car. And the guy in the food truck was a real dick about it, actually. And I got out and I started looking around. I didn't say anything. And he said, "Oh, you ready to start something?" I said, "I haven't said it." He goes, "Shut up. Just shut up."
And I guarantee you shut right up, regardless of this guy's size.
How big was this guy?
This guy was pretty big.
What was his ethnicity?
Caucasian guy, actually a very well-dressed guy. But I went and I got my phone, but then I realized I can't take pictures on my phone. So I got nothing on this. And the guy told me to get the hell out of there. He said, just go.
So you ran away like a coward.
They had their phone number for the truck on there, and I copied down the license plate. And I said, "I'm going to call your people." And he just sort of sneered at me, and then I left.
Real quick from chat. Chamberlain just jumped the shark. Tell him to stick to sucking Robbie's dick. That's the comment.
I don't know what the first part of that means.
You never heard the term "jump the shark"?
No.
It's from, how do you not know this? The episode in Happy Days where they jumped the shark, or Fonzie did.
Fonzie
now a
jumps the shark.
term, whenever a show stops being good, that show is jumped the shark.
What does that have to do with oral on Robbie? What is?
Everything has to do with oral on Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather give Robbie oral or see Star Trek?
I'd have to say the Star Trek. That's pretty bad.
The chat is also clamoring. Apparently they're remaking Grease, and they want your opinion.
Well, the first one isn't very good, but it does have a fun sort of spirit and vibe about it. Who the hell cares? I mean, it's not going to be any good.
Well, if we wait to talk about a movie you care about, we're going to only talk about movies that no one has any interest in or ever heard of, right?
Well, that's not my problem if they've never heard of them. I mean, what?
Is there anything out right now that you would recommend in the theaters?
Actually,
coming out
yes.
This summer,
Yes. As a matter of fact, because Robbie and I were talking about it over dinner, it's this new documentary about Ricky Jay, the great sleight of hand man. It's a documentary about all of his influences.
So a documentary is all the movies this summer. That's the one.
You're coming in to talk about summer blockbusters.
Well, look, I mean, you guys give me crap because I haven't seen any of these 4 movies. Then I talk about something I'm in, and then you shoot that down.
What about this? Now You See Me. It's a magic movie. Do you know about this? Yeah, there you
go, with Woody Harrelson.
Right.
Yeah.
I seen a poster for that. Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine. Yeah, the vanity credits are pretty. It says with Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine. And I wonder who got the with, who got the and, how many meetings, how they work that out with the agents.
It's got Jesse Eisenberg. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, he is good.
And you have to agree that Morgan Freeman's career has passed Michael Caine's career.
At this point in time, yes.
They did a movie together that Mike wouldn't even go see.
What was that?
The last Batman movie.
Oh, God, yeah. That was the movie where Morgan Freeman was talking to a video screen, and that's another movie where I didn't know what was going on. That Joker Batman movie.
You didn't like The Dark Knight.
Right. He's talked about that before.
I could on this show, have I?
Yeah, he said it's nihilistic. By the way, the Ricky Jay documentary is called Deceptive Practices, The Mystery and Mentors of Ricky Jay.
Yeah, but we can't recommend to our audience something that's being released in 6 theaters. I mean, how are they going to find it?
If they give a damn, they'll search. That's right. I recommend quality, not accessibility.
Fine, but their problem can't be that they have to move to a different state to watch the movie you've recommended.
Look, it'll be available soon enough on DVD. You can get it at the library or something.
Nobody goes to the library. You realize that.
Can you talk about something consumable for the audience that we have?
They go to Redbox. That's outside of Walmart. They're not going to a library.
But they're often free at the library, just like a book.
All right. We could go on forever on that. Okay. You realize that most people don't go to the library. You realize that, Mr. Chamberlain, correct?
I don't know that.
You realize that people would rather pay $2 than actually go to the library?
I just got Panic in Needle Park from the library. And
you win the argument then. Okay.
Okay. But why is The Great Gatsby not on your list here of these 4 big movies coming out?
Because we thought you might actually like that. Do you want to see that?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, the movie, this is as excited as I've been for a movie in a long time. I have to think you have some interest because it's got to speak to your youth. You probably grew up at some point interested in Superman, and they're rebooting the franchise. Hopefully, Man of Steel. It's got a lot of good people involved. Are you not? You have to be interested in some level, correct?
We had a Superman in 1978. It was great fun. Why do we?
Because we have to redo it with the technology. You watch that movie
with
now.
The technology, okay.
He's flying. He has to look
that's
real.
True. Mike, what he's saying, is accurate. You know that there's a big difference between Plan 9 from outer space and this whatever Z movie with Brad Pitt where the zombies take over the world, right? I mean, we can do things that we couldn't do before. That's important to that kind of film.
But that's a bigger jump than what they could do in 1978 and 2013. I mean, the story's been told quite memorably with the Christopher Reeve movie. I don't...
Okay, so you're not going to see Superman. You're not going to see Pacific Rim.
Too many superhero movies.
Are you going to see the Magic movie?
Probably not.
You're not going to see any of these movies.
No.
All right. What about The Lone Ranger?
Not a fan of that director.
Why do you take a dump every time you go to Robbie's house?
I didn't. Do I take a dump?
Without fail.
Well,
is this something about his bathroom? Is it nice?
I asked him, which bathroom should I use? He said, use this one. It's got a good vent. I wasn't aware that I used the bathroom every time I came to Robbie.
The next time you're there, are you going to be conscious of that and not go?
Well, I don't go unless I have to. I usually take a big one every day. It's
okay. That's
25 or 30 minutes. I work a lot through, and I guess that was it today.
So this was the big one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You took your big dump of the day.
Oh, yeah.
At Robbie's house.
Yeah.
Do you find it weird that Robbie doesn't read when he's in the bathroom?
I don't know what Robbie does in the bathroom.
No, I'm telling you, he doesn't.
It's been a big discussion on the show recently. I don't take reading material into the bathroom.
What do you do?
I do my business and I get out of there. And they're impugning my manhood because of it.
Yes.
Robbie, he said he doesn't do that, but he does do is he reads his mail in there.
That is kind of weird.
Listen who's talking.
Like you rip the envelopes up and
That's weird.
I do that.
He sorts the recycling in there. Yeah, it's weird.
All right, Mike, Robbie sent us some notes. He said that you cast a midget, or is it a little person, in your last production. Is this true?
Oh, in Italian-American Reconciliation.
Yeah, but not to play a regular part. You didn't do that.
What do you mean a regular part? What does that mean? There's a wonderful actress that was in my production of Clockwork Orange. She's a little person.
Oh, a female.
And she was basically playing the Olympia Dukakis role, the matriarch of the Italian neighborhood who everybody comes to get advice. And she was fabulous.
Well, that's weird, Mike.
It is weird.
It wouldn't be weird if you saw it.
We know comics who have huge birthmarks on their face. And one of them that we know doesn't address it. Now, he's a very funny comic, but you have to address it. Like, I see your birthmark. I can't act like it's not happening. For example, Man of Steel is coming out. You couldn't have a midget playing that role. It's got, you follow what I'm saying? You have to explain that stuff away. Now, I don't know if you were trying to be ironic or if you were trying to be in some way shocking, but was she just going to come out and be a midget? Like, we don't see that?
Well, first of all, you don't know the play. You didn't see it. You haven't read the script.
Okay. Now, stop. When you cast for a role, you generally give some sort of physical requirements.
It's true. There's a descriptive.
Did you cast for a midget or did you cast for a regular person and then a midget showed up?
Casting the Man of Steel is a lot different than casting a supporting.
That was a slight exaggeration.
Yes.
Okay.
We cast the best actress that we could find, and the character is a survivor, and this actress is a survivor.
Okay. So do you think, say, you'd have a midget play, say, Willie Loman? Would that make sense?
That's tough because Willie Loman is, in
Robbie,
a way,
do not edit that pause out.
a fallen giant. And if you're casting a little person as Willie Loman, then you're already negating the stature that they had.
Can you imagine, Joe, you're at a casting call, you're in line waiting to read your part, and it's all for the same part, and there's a midget in the line with you? You have to wonder if you're at the right place, right?
If you guys were sitting in the audience watching this show, Italian-American Reconciliation, and Suzanne Richard, that was the actress who played this part of Aunt May, came out, the moment she entered, started doing stuff and talking, you would have not questioned it.
I would have been laughing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem. It was an asset.
Okay. Are you getting good reviews on this?
This show already closed. Great reviews.
Yeah,
well, I know why you got great reviews, because people needed to be PC. You can't just start berating a movie where every single person in the cast is some member of some elite minority.
Elite minority. Were there a lot of midgets in the crowd to support her?
No.
What do you mean? She doesn't have a midget following? At least have a tiny following. Now, would you hook up with this girl if you were single?
Good question.
She's a great actress. And
Answer the question, please.
No, I would not.
Why not?
Were you too good for a midget?
It goes the other way. She would certainly not hook up with me. As a matter of fact, speaking of going to the bathroom, there was one day in rehearsal, I remember now, I like to use the Target baby wipes I take with me into the can. And one day I said, we're taking a big break, like 10 minutes. I got to go.
You're a nice director. 10 minutes. Take a big break. How long is your lunch break? 5 minutes?
10-minute breaks is usually what we do. Anyway, so I go off to use the bathroom, and then I walk in there and I go, I forgot my wipes. So I go back out into the stage, and I discreetly walk over to my bag, and I pull my wipes out. And she turns around and sees me holding the wipes, and she says, I wish I didn't see you. Just go.
I don't blame her.
So she's a midget, but she is disgusted by you.
Well, she's at the height where
she's not
the
a midget.
Smell the worst smells. They're at the direct.
She's not.
Yeah,
a midget.
you're right. Good point.
just walking around right in the thick of it.
She's a wonderful actress who was disgusted by my bathroom habits.
And she could have acted like she wasn't, and she chose not to.
Yeah, she's a wonderful actress, but she couldn't overcome that.
Well, I think this has been a good segment with you, so maybe we should just end it now.
I agree 100% with both statements.
One more week of performances on Optimism or Voltaire's Candide.
And this is going to be running only through this weekend at Spooky Action Theater,
That's
1810 16th Street, Northwest DC. And, of course, for all your magic needs, you need to hire a magician, MikeCMagic.com. Mr. Chamberlain, this was a good...
It was. It was probably my favorite.